old-fashioned tinfoil hat conspiracy theory. I saw these tweets and I just couldn't believe the insanity regarding economic understanding and just the everything's racist, racial lens, how you view the world. I mean, this is just a racialist view of the world. It's a weird worldview. The Bible presents nothing like this. Crazy. I put my tinfoil hat on because I really want to protect my thoughts from the all-powerful, all-seeing economic privilege and power board that gives people power and things like that. I really want to keep them out of my brain. And so here we go. Let's dive right into this one. I quote, "Historically speaking, Asian Americans have not been good allies to Black Americans. They were for a season, but once granted economic and social privilege, they turned on Black community like other marginalized groups before them. It's encouraging to see the rise in Asian American allies." For those not aware, Asian Americans were heavily racialized when they came to America. Early on, they partnered with Black Americans in advocating for racial justice. In order to keep Black Americans isolated, Asian Americans were given economic power, food and cosmetic industry. Oh my goodness. So many crazy things to say. Economic power isn't given. It isn't given. This is just some kind of crazy... Honestly, this is a very white supremacist idea. I'm sorry to say it. I don't think that this brother is a white supremacist. I'm not crazy like a lot of people who call me white supremacist. I don't think he is. But this is an idea that is just so shocking to me. That in order to get economic power, you must be granted it from on high. And this super secret... It's too hot in this. Oh my goodness. This super secret economic board is giving people power, and they're moving and shaking to keep some ethnicities down and elevate other ethnicities and things like that. That's not how it works. That's not how economics works. That's how capitalism works. Economics works like this. If you want economic power, then you have to work for it. You work for it. You build businesses. You sell your labor in exchange for money, and then you put that money to work for you. That's how you do it. You know, the reality is that Black Americans have tremendous economic power. I put a video about this out the other day where this Black brother, who I don't agree with on everything, but I love his attitude. He talks about how much power the Black community in the United States has. It's like more than other countries combined, total. And it's just an unbelievable economic power that unfortunately they do not use to their advantage. Asian Americans found a way to use their combined economic power, which wasn't very much initially. They found a way to use that power, and they built businesses, they built communities, they built more wealth, and now they're at the top of the food chain in a lot of ways. And so here's the reality of this whole situation. Asian Americans have to, if you're buying into this cultural Marxism, critical theory type stuff, you have to view Asian Americans as oppressors. You have to, because they're at the top of the ladder when it comes to wealth and income and things like that. And so clearly they're oppressing all of us. It's Asian privilege in the United States. Oh my, what am I gonna do? You're starting to see this a lot. A lot more people are speaking out like this brother here, talking about how the Asians aren't good allies to Black people. Look, enough with this. Enough with this. Nobody is given economic power. This sentence right here is crazy. Asian Americans were given economic power in the food and cosmetic industry. No, they weren't given it. They took it. They took it. They built a product that people wanted. They exchanged it for cash, and then they put that money to work in their own communities. They put that money to work for them, and they built wealth. And that's how everybody does it. And not everybody has the same amount of wealth to start out with, but everyone can do something to build their future for their families and for their children. The Bible says that a just man not only leaves an inheritance to his children, but also to his children's children. And that's the thing. Asians get that. Asians get that they're building a multi-generational wealth machine here. And the reality is that's a biblical principle. That's a godly principle. That's a godly way to think. And we all have to start thinking this way. And man, this convicts me because I need to start thinking this way. I probably need to buy less of this gaming stuff and put more away for my children and my children's children to build our economic wealth and our economic power. That's the thing. To say that blacks have no economic power right now because it hasn't been granted for them by the white man. That's insane. That's a crazy way to think. That's a victim way to think. Blacks have tremendous economic power, and they don't have to wait for anyone to give it to them. They don't have to wait for anyone to grant privilege to them. Economic privilege. That's just so crazy. You just don't understand economics if you think that way. Nobody's going to grant you privilege or power or money or economics. It's not going to ever happen. White people are never going to do it, and they shouldn't do it. You need to take it. Hope this is helpful. God bless. So hot. I'll save it for later.